Hi, I'm Steve Mignonti doing the Junkyard Crawl at Burnston Auto Wrecking in Burnston, Massachusetts with a 1986 Dodge Daytona-Z. Now, the cool thing about these is these had excellent aerodynamic qualities. 0.32 was the coefficient of drag, which is actually better than an F-16 fighter jet. Much of that had to do with the chin spoiler, and there's lots of things about the car that are very aerodynamic. Of course, the sunken headlights, maybe not so aero, but with that said, the rest of the vehicle was definitely designed to be aerodynamically efficient. 0.32 CD, again, better than F-16 fighter jet. Now, under the hood, which is vented right here, it's not what you think it is. This thing right here is functional, but it allows the 2.2 turbo engine to allow cool air to flow by means of this little duct onto the turbocharger down there, which will glow red at full boost up a hill. So again, this was not for sucking air into the intake side, but rather to blow air onto the turbo to keep it cool and keeping away from meltdown, as it were. But again, a whole lot of engine right here. It's 2.2 liters, which is 135 cubic inches, 146 horsepower. The very next year, 1987, the intercooler arrived, bringing power to 175, and that's coming through the front tires. Now, the price on these things when they were new was $11,301, which was $199 more than a Mustang GT hatchback. So, you know, you paid your money, took your pick. Again, a lot of people prefer a rear-wheel drive Mustang V8, the GT hatchback, over a front-wheel drive car. But again, the Turbo Z was a popular car. They sold 44,366 of these things in 1986, so a very popular car. And of all the Daytonas built, about half were Turbo Zs, the performance model. The other ones are naturally aspirated 2.2s with maybe 101 horsepower or something like that. So 146 horsepower front-wheel drive. You know, a pretty quick car with traction, probably a 16.1, maybe a 15.8 second quarter mile. And of course, you know, the cold air induction. Well, there is none. That's the air inlet. Well, that's the future. The filter would go around here, the air box, and it's fed by this little duct here, which comes in from underneath the hood of the car. So this thing right here, kind of a cold air system, but nothing that exotic. But anyway, a little Trans 4 front-wheel drive. And again, these all had 4-lug wheels in 1984, but for 1985 onward, 5-lug wheels came into the picture. Front discs, rear drums, kind of ironic. But this one is pretty well loaded. $342 extra for the removable glass roof. And by the way, Turbo Z nomenclature everywhere, so to remind the world that you're driving a turbocharged Daytona Turbo Z. But getting back to the $342 upcharge right here. These glass panels are removable, kind of neat, and also very stealable. I hate to say it. Owners of Camaros and Firebirds with T-tops know very well that these can be stolen very quickly and easily, as well as Daytonas. But inside we see the 5-speed manual transaxle up front, and something kind of brave on these, 125 mile-an-hour speedometer at a point in time when 85 was theoretically the maximum limit for speedos, but 125, kind of flouting the rule, but 125 mile per hour right there for all to appreciate. And something kind of neat too, these have a sport driver's seat, and in fact, we'll trade spots here. And this is an inflatable lumbar thing, the thigh and lumbar right here. Pump this up, and actually inflates the lumbar here and the thigh bladders inside of the seat, which makes it contour to your body a little better. It's kind of a weird thing, like going to the doctor's office, having a blood pressure tested, and you can release the pressure by just doing this. It toggles up and down. Kind of a neat little device right here. And it was standard fare on the Turbo Z, kind of neat. And coming around to the back. Before we do that, one part of the Turbo Z package was the little, the sills. These things right here, these are flexible. But what these do is two things. They help to eliminate drag or reduce it, but also a lot of people race these things in SCCA road racing, wherein the stock ride height had to be adhered to. Well, these allowed drivers of these things to cheat because the ride height was measured from the ground to the bottom of that thing. So it kind of allowed people to have a lower ride height and potentially better handling than otherwise. It kind of borrows the page from the 1969 Torino Talladega, which had a similar rocker panel, again, to cheat NASCAR and have the car ride lower because it was formed to be lower to the car, so ride height was manipulated. Same function here. And again, drum brakes on the back, unfortunately. Discs were available a little later on, but not here. And trunk spoiler comes all around to the sides right here, again, for reducing drag and increasing aerodynamic efficiency. And again, 0.32, not too shabby for a production passenger car. And this puppy here is liftable to clean the window. It's hinged, but also a standard feature. Aluminum, not fiberglass or plastic. So kind of nice thing, because without the liftable feature. Cleaning this thing would be kind of impossible. The glass is rather large. But again, as a hatchback, there's lots of room and utility. It's almost as good as a station wagon. Lots of room in the back here. And these are cool little hydraulic pistons right here that are still working. Nice to see. But right here, kind of cool. This puppy here for security. If you have some gold bars back here, maybe the first issue of Super Stock and Drag Illustrated magazine, put it back here. Nobody steals it because it hides in plain sight with a little security shield right there. Spring-loaded, kind of neat. Sort of working still a little bit. And the spare tire goes under here. It's a Space Saver spare, and it's been removed, but that's where it would live. Here's another cylinder head. Again, aluminum. That's cast iron. That's a cast iron head. I'm not sure if it's aluminum. It is aluminum. It's an aluminum cylinder head. Perhaps a replacement head for this car here. It's possible. Overhead cam, single overhead cam. And, pretty cool, the design of this thing. Once again, Turbo Z, don't forget, right there. And again, the Z thing was very popular. IROC, Z, and so Dodge was tapping into that. And, of course, there was also a Chrysler version of this laser, and not as hot rod. I think you'd get a turbo laser if you wanted to, same basic mechanicals, but only the Turbo Z Daytona, harking back to, the performance Charger Daytona of 1969. Whole different creature, but the spirit was there. And of course, the centrally mounted brake light here, new for 1986, was mandated by the Fed. You had to have it. Everything from Corvettes to cars like this had to have it. Station wagons all mandated the CHSML, like they called it, centrally located high brake light. So, a good example of surviving. Really, they're pretty uncommon. There were 44,366 of these built. And again, at just over $11,000, a little more expensive than a 5-liter Mustang GT. Take your pick. But that's the story of this 1986 Dodge Daytona Turbo Z. Hope you liked the video. If you did, be sure to subscribe to the SteamMag's YouTube channel. And we'll see you tomorrow for more Junkyard Crawl. Thanks for watching.